Hey my YouTube friends, welcome to Paper Wheels. If you haven't been here before, this is a great site for learning how to craft for those who might have some physical limitations or even some form of a disability. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to get the word out there. I am new. If you have any constructive criticism or any things to say, please comment and I am open to that. And I'm also open to sharing any of the items you made. Please comment below. I'm working on getting a Facebook page up, and I'm hoping by next couple weeks I'll be able to do that. I've had some equipment issues, and I'm trying to get things replaced and figure all that out. So for today, we're just simply going to play with Mod Podge. It's this nice stuff here. Comes in a bottle like this. I pour mine in a resealable cup. It makes for ease of me to get it out. If you want to leave it in that bottle and use your brush right out of that, you can. You can also save your little detergent caps, pour some in it each time you use it. I just have this little cup with a lid on it that I'm using. So I'm just going, I've got some collaging that I did here with a glue stick the other day, and I'm just simply wanting to cover this and coat it to give it a good seal. I like to use Mod Podge to seal things. You can also use it when you're putting things down to collage. I prefer to wait until my collaging is done and then simply go over it with my brush and just kind of seal it. So that's what I'm doing with this. We got some other things laying here that you can see in my little pile behind my Mod Podge here, and we're gonna try doing some things with it and show you some different ways that you can use Mod Podge. Mod Podge. I always say Mod Podge, which is incorrect, but anyway. The other thing I wanted to tell you, if you don't have it, you can make your own using any white glue. You use 1 part white glue to 2 parts water and mix it up really, really good. You want your glue to be kind of this kind of consistency. See how it's, you don't want it to be, you want it to be kind of runny, thick but runny, if that makes sense. You can make your own, lots of recipes out there, but like I said, I have used just some white glue watered down, and at the time I used it I didn't even know the consistencies to use. However, I since looked it up, and if you want to do any type of decoupaging, it's a great substance. It's also great in junk drilling to collage with or seal off once you have collaged, to kind of seal it up so that your little edges don't work their way up anymore. So I've got this, and I'm just spreading it out, and I'm going to lay it to the side, let it dry. You will notice that it was flat, and sometimes your project might curl a little when it gets wet with the Mod Podge. If that happens, let it dry, then put it under something, and it will kind of flatten right out. So just gonna lay this to the side, make sure in the light I got everything. Oh, I missed a spot, so let me get it real quick here. Make sure I didn't miss any other spots. And we're just gonna cover that, and that'll give that a good seal, and then I can cut that in half and use it for tags or make some journaling cards out of it. So just gonna lay it to the side. And we're going to pick up another one of my papers here. And we'll start with papers rather than the thinner things, so you can see how it does on different kinds of paper. I've got this little tiny piece. It's like a piece of scrapbook paper that was already cut when I got it that way, but we're going to use it, and we're going to make what's called faux rice paper with it. So you're going to see what adding Mod Podge to the front and back of this will do. So I'm going to scoot my piece of plastic. I've just got some pieces of plastic that I had that had tissue paper in them. And I'm just using them because I'll end up, once I peel it off here and it dries, I'll throw it away. So I'm just going to use this little square that's on my plastic so I know how much glue to get down. I'm just putting a fairly good layer on here so that I can lay my paper right on top of that. The heavier paper, I think you'll find you'll need a little bit more glue when you put it down like this. Not so much with your thinner papers because they absorb the glue better. So I'm just gonna, where it accidentally stuck on the edges because I got a little glue on it, let's just peel that up. I'll stick it down here. And I'm going to just take my Mod Podge brush, hold it with my finger in one corner, and then simply cover it, the rest of it again covered with Mod Podge. And I think I've got enough room on, and then you just let this dry. And continue watching till the end. It won't be dry probably by the time I finish my video, but I will add on to the end here and show you what they look like when they're dry. This is a piece of one of those papers from Temu, AliExpress, or one of those Sheen, whatever that is, Sheen, Shine, any of those places online where you can order those little, they call them scrapbooking paper tablet-like things. So I'm going to, again, just don't want to go too far up my brush because then it gets all over my brush and makes a mess. So trying not to do that. Try to use this here and to kind of guesstimate. I mean, if you want to get so precise on it, you could probably use your mat underneath if you're using clear plastic to determine how much stuff to put down on your paper before you lay it down, or to put down on your plastic before you lay it down. But you just want to kind of spread it out real good, because the whole point is you really want to get that paper good and saturated on both sides for it to turn out right. So I'm gonna, oops, make sure I have it all down there. Lay down my piece of paper. I'll move it over just a hair because I got too close to the edge of my plastic here. Let me try this again, because I don't want to be right on the edge. There we go. That works. So now I'm just going to press it down with my fingers because it'll like glue it to that plastic. You don't want to use, you could use wax paper, plastic, old cereal bags, silicone mat, whatever you use, it will have to dry on that. And it will clean off afterwards. If you don't want to go to the trouble of cleaning a mat or plastic or anything off like that, you can just simply use some old plastic packaging that comes in it, or like I said, save your cereal bags, your wax covered cereal bags, or any other product that comes in a plastic or wax bag that you can save and use for that. I'm all about, I like to order things to use in my scrapbooks, and I like to have a lot of things. So I'm all about saving money where I can. A lot of the things I've gotten, I either got through Temu, which I don't get any promotions or anything on my channel here, folks. These are just products that I like and that I use. So I'm not like promoting Temu or anything. It's just a good cheap place though, where you can get your some good scrapbooking and junk journal type supplies. All right, so I'm going to set that back, and this one is again going to be placed to the side. So give me a minute here, and I'm going to lay this up out of the way, and we're going to see how we're going to do some napkins and tissue papers. A I've done napkin, just not tissue paper. You can also add a few instant coffee crystals and color up your Mod Podge or your glue substance when you do this. I'm not sure what you'd call it if you made your own. So, all right. Well, this is a piece of, I believe they call it rice paper. It's that really thin, feels almost like cloth. I wanted to experiment and see what it would do with that. So I put a piece of that out here. So I'm going to lay this down big enough to lay my rice paper piece on. Just spreading the glue. This is a real easy process. In fact, you'll probably be impressed as to how it turns out. It gives your paper more of a scrunchy kind of look, and it gives it, I don't know, it just gives it a really cool look to use to make ephemera out of and use in your journals. So let's see here. Just a little bit more on this other side of my plastic. My plastic sheets aren't very big because I just split the tissue paper plastic in half to use it up. So let's see here. Get this down on this side quickly before it starts deciding it wants. Oh, it's getting wet still. No. You want to put enough on there that it's not going to decide it wants to. Oh, there's a hole in that. Oops. Yes, maybe I want to try to avoid it, but even if I don't, I think it'll still turn out okay. I didn't know there was a hole in it. Alright, then I'm just going to take this ricey paper stuff, lay it down, trying to avoid my hole, which I can do. Look at that. I think I can do that without... This rice paper stuff will, if you get it wet, it tears really easy. So if you don't, you got to be careful you're getting it down in the right spot if you're going to do this, because if not, you'll tear it up. If it wrinkles, I'm not really too worried about wrinkles. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so we'll do a piece of this and some napkin, some other tissue paper, and we'll go from there. I also have what they call an oil type paper that I also got a package of through Temu. I'm not sure what Temu calls it. On the package itself it said oil paper. Of course it said it in either any foreign language, Chinese or Japanese. I honestly do not know the difference. I apologize to anyone out there who is of that descent. I don't know your language, so I'm not real sure what it is. Perhaps if anyone knows, you can educate us. Let me know what it is, what you call this. I've always called this paper, clothy-like stuff I'm working now, some like a rice paper. I'm really not sure. Again, this particular one, I'm not sure what you call it. I just want to get it coated good so it will dry, and we'll see what we can do with it when it's dry. Alright. Done with that one. So let me get it off to the side here. And I'll lay that. Hopefully it won't fold up where it's folded there in the middle, but if it does, it's okay. I'll make sure it's laying flat before it dries completely. Get another piece of, oh, it closed up on me over here, guys. Hang on just a minute. If I don't open it back up. There we go. I got it opened. Another piece of plastic down. And we're going to use napkins this time. I have this piece of brown napkin from a restaurant. It's only a one-ply type napkin, so I don't need to separate it. And I want to show you a little trick on how you can tear your napkins. Rather, if you want that kind of a torn edge look to it. You can get yourself a water brush, paintbrush, or any paintbrush really. I have one that has this water in it here. My brush just fell, didn't fall to the floor, so I'm good. This one is just a water brush that I picked up at one of the craft stores. They may even have them at Dollar Tree. I do not know, folks. But it just simply has water in it. Get my water going and flowing here. And you can take it and wherever you want to tear your napkin, you just brush the water. I didn't come up with this, folks. I saw somebody else do it online. So you just brush your water, and then where you brush your water is where you want your tear, because it'll weaken your napkin enough that it'll allow you to tear it. So I'm just going to take this one, tear it in half, because I don't want a big piece on here. See, it just tears right where I ripped it. And I'm going to lay the other piece off to the side here, since we're not going to use it. And I'm going to grab a drink of water here. All right. So now we got this brown piece here. Let me spread out my plastic. And lay my Mod Podge bottle on it to help it to stay open. It doesn't really want to. I don't know if any of you guys have Ollie's in your state. I looked it up, and apparently Ollie's is in 25 of the states across the country. It is a bargain store. They have a lot of things that I'm not sure where they get their stuff, but it's a lot of overstock type items that they have, and they sell the overstock items at reduced prices. So you can get anything from appliances to paper clips, some tools even. And different stores are going to have different things, and if you have one in your area, a lot of times they'll advertise, tell you what they got. It's a good place if you just randomly can go and look around to find some scrapbooking type supplies. I got some of my tissue papers there for, I think the package of my tissue paper was like 49 cents. I mean, really not expensive at all. And every store is going to have something different and different prices, so you can't expect to find exactly what I find just because they're like an overstock store. I've not ever looked on overstock.com online, but I mean, they might have even some paper products as well. Man, that does not want to stay out there. Yeeks. See if I can rescue my napkin here and get it down on my glue. Maybe that'll help it to lay out there. All right, we're gonna put that there. Hopefully the napkin's a little heavier than the clear packaging, so it'll stay down. Even when I put glue on it, it wants to close up. It's not heavy enough to hold it down. All right, let's try this. There we go. I don't know what the weather's doing in your areas, but right now, where I am at, it is below freezing. Even during the daytime, we got 22 degrees. It's evening here, but it's just about ready for the sun to go down. So I'm sure it's going to get even colder as time goes on here. We got some single digits heading our way. I think really the whole east coast of the United States is seeing it. Some areas may see more ice and snow than others. Now, if you notice when I'm putting this on, it's starting to wrinkle up a little bit. I don't care. I like the wrinkled look. In fact, I'm hoping I can use it kind of like for a worn leather type look when I'm done here. I got some washi tape here. Let me see if I can bring it out and hold those corners down. Yeah, there we go. Now I can spread this Mod Podge on it. Try to say it right from now on, but I'm sure I'll forget to say Mod Podge. just been a habit. It just sounds better, I think, in my brain. So see how it's wrinkling up a little bit, and your brush will help you wrinkle a little. It's okay, it doesn't really matter, because I want it to wrinkle up and look like that when I dry. All right. I'm running out of places to put the ones to dry. So give me a minute or two here, and I'm going to set this on my desk behind me. And then I will get another piece of plastic and some more paper. We're going to try some tissue paper and see how that does. I'm still within hearing range of my video here, folks. I'm just in my craft room, moving around a little bit, trying to get a craft desk behind me, so I'm just trying to spread out the things I've Mod Podged on so that they will have an opportunity to fully dry. And I can show you once they're fully dry. I'll come back and video and show you what they look like. So we can do that. I'm not going to make a separate video. I'll combine them. That way you don't have to watch two videos. At the end of this one, you'll be able to see what it is they do. All right. Coming back, folks. Give me a minute to get turned around here. All righty. Here we go. All right, pull out another piece of this nice looking plastic. And I think what I'm going to do is use a piece of that oil paper I was telling you about and a piece of napkin or tissue paper. I'm just going to use some smaller pieces that I can use in different ephemeras so you can see how they turn out. I've got a small piece of regular napkin, a piece of oil paper. It's stuck to with my tape. And I also have a piece of tissue paper here and a piece of brown pattern. So we're going to try each of these last three items in smaller pieces here, and so you can see how they turn out. What you can do. I'm just going to tear a piece of this pretty floral paper off here so I can use it when I make something in the future. But I want to be able to use the things that I make here. We'll save the napkin for last, just in case I start running on time here. And I have this piece, this is the oil paper that I'm talking about. It's got just nice noise. It comes in 6x6 sheets. This one came like this, looks like it's got coffee all spilled over it. It is fairly easy to tear. I mean, I'm just pulling it apart and tearing it, and it's tearing fairly straight. So I'm just going to use a piece, half piece of the 6x6, 3x6, and see what we can do here. I want to make this a little smaller, this tissue paper, because I'd like to put some of that pattern paper down here too, so you can see what it does with pattern paper as well. All right, here's my piece of tissue paper. It's probably 3x4. I also have a little piece of pattern paper that I'm going to tear here, so I have just a little bit of it to show you what you can do with this as well, or what it turns into. And you can use these as layers in your embellishments, really anything you might want. I'm not really sure how this oil paper is going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a smaller square of it as well, So that way if it doesn't turn out, I'm not wasting a bunch of it. Or a bunch of pages of it. Alrighty. So I've got these three, and I also have this tissue paper with these metallic looking flowers on it. I'm going to tear me a small piece of it. I could probably do the same thing with it that I did with the napkin, but it looks like it's tearing pretty good. So I'm not going to, you know, fuss over it. I'm just going to simply tear me a small square so we can play and see what it'll do. Do some testing. All right, so I got my 4 pieces here, and I got my 1 piece of plastic. I think it'll hold all 4 pieces. So let's just get started here. I see a hole here, so I'm going to go below the hole because I don't want it to slip out the other side on me. I get quiet in here because my heater kicked off. All right. We'll start with this metallic tissue paper since it's on top. Just simply going to put it down like that and cover it. We're going to do the same thing with all 4 pieces. Pretty simple stuff, guys. If I'm boring you at this moment, go ahead and fast forward through, because all I'm going to be doing is simply adding the glue on top of the stuff onto the paper. Okay, there's that one. Now we have the piece of napkin. So I'm going to just slightly turn this. Oh, the pattern paper almost ended up on the floor. It was in my lap. Let's turn it sideways so we can put down this napkin here and see what it does. So I'm just going to cover the other half of this packaging paper, or the other half of this half, I guess it would be. And there is a hole towards the top, so I'll try to avoid the hole, and I think we can. Again, if you're doing this, I didn't have any, but you could use wax paper and accomplish the same thing here, or some kind of a non-sticky mat. Even a silicone mat could probably work. I had one, but I was afraid I wouldn't have enough room on it, and I didn't know how well it would fit on my desk with other things on here. So my tissue paper, this particular one has, well, they kind of both did, has a little bit of a smooth finish to it. So we'll see here what happens when we're done. I just thought, I'm obsessed with different prints of tissue paper. And I picked up several, again, really cheap. Dollar store is a good place to buy it. They have packages of color, and then there's like a floral with it. So both these 2 types I'm putting down now, they came with a solid color tissue paper as well. And it's nice because there's enough in there to do a couple packages, but you're not buying an abundance of it. So it's kind of good when you're working on your journal and want to use it for some kind of craft idea. All right, now we've got these other cool pieces of stuff. One is pattern paper that I'm going to put, we already got some glue on it from the other side, so I'm just going to finish adding some glue here. And then I'm going to put this oil paper down and see what it does as well. Some people use vellum and do the same thing. If you're going to do that, I'd probably use a thinner type vellum to do it with, because it seems like it might do better with the thinner type. But that's really all up to you. Each kind of paper is going to give you a different texture when it's finished. Let's see, can I lay it? Let's lay it like this. Again, there's a little hole under there, but we'll have enough that we'll be able to tell what it is when we're done here. And I'm just spreading the glue. Again, it's wrinkling up because it's very fine. In fact, I'm just kind of going to take my brush and create a few wrinkles with it because I like that wrinkly look. All right, let's create me a few extra wrinkles there. And I'm also, on some of these, you might want to give yourself a little bit of an edge so you'll be able to peel your paper up when you go to peel it off. You don't want to leave like a pile of glue anywhere. And get your glue good and spread out. All right, oil paper. Let's take you and put you down here. Oh, see the hole there? I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see it really good on camera there. So let's go between the hole and the other piece of stuff here. I think we'll be okay. I suppose I could have taped this down and it wouldn't keep coming up on me, but I knew I was going to be switching it so much I didn't even consider doing anything like that. Just wanting to show you the process and how you can do this and what they will turn out like when you're done. Alright, just coating it, this piece of oil paper, so it's referred to as. And I forget, there was some other kind of paper I saw on Temu that I haven't ordered, but it was some kind of a seed paper or something, and it looked really interesting, and now I can't remember what they called it, but okay. Done with that. And then I have one last little thing here that I'm going to show you that we're going to cover with some Mod Podge. I had this piece of junk mail that I used a glue stick and put stuff down with. And I just want to come along, oh, looky there, that's inside. I just want to come along and I'm going to coat it on both sides. I'm going to keep you on camera while I do that, but see, some of my pieces started to come up. I must not have gotten them glued down or pushed down well. So I'm just simply going to cover both sides of this. And when I come back and show you what the other things, how they turned out and how we peel them off of the plastic, I'll show you how this turns out as well. So I will see you all in a bit, and be sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so I'm back. I've given these Mod Podge pieces time to dry, and I saved one to go ahead and peel off the plastic on camera so you could see what it's like to do that. However, I thought I'd show you my other things first here. So you can see what it's done and what effect it gives on the top of things. This is just a simple piece of scrapbook scrap. On the back, I don't see how it kind of is real glossy. If you use that plastic, your back comes out coated but kind of glossy. The front, however, since it's matte, Mod Podge does not do that. This part here is your glue that dried. Mod Podge drying along the edges, and I usually, it doesn't tear off very good. I mean, if I try to tear it, it's not, put it up here we can see, it's not tearing very well, and you can't get good edges. So you can take just a pair of scissors and come along. If you like that torn edge look, you can use your decal scissors for that matter, but you just come along and you can just cut this extra right off from around it, and if you watch real close, you cut right up to your paper and just cut the extra dried Mod Podge off there and not end up cutting your paper. So there's that one. Let's see what else I had here to show you. These are actual napkins. This is that piece of cloth-like paper. It made it appear more translucent, and it also has a shiny side that gives it this really crinkly. You can wad it all up afterwards, and then you get more wrinkles in it. You can take your inks and put on it, and the raised parts will pick up your ink, so which is pretty cool. I also have this piece. Again, this is just one of those Temu pieces I covered. You can kind of see how it has like a, it's really hard to see on camera, but it's like a coated matte, and all of mine are shiny on the back because of the plastic that I used to put them on. If you don't want the shiny back, you can do one side, let it dry, flip it, and do the other side. That's this one. I just simply covered one side of it and let it dry. And I'm going to, it gives it a lot sturdier to the paper, and it gives it a really neat feel on it. I can either glue it down like that, or I can turn it over and Mod Podge the back side as well. Even put some ink on there and then Mod Podge the back side. What you will find if you use your Distress Oxide ink, they are any of your inks that are water-based. If you add Mod Podge on the top of it, it is a water-based substance too. So once those two water bases get together, the ink can it'll water down your ink, and it could smear or run it. So if you try inking it before, if it's not already part of your paper, you might find that that will happen. This is how the brown napkin turned out. It actually looks really cool. Here is a piece. Let me show you the original next to the actual. This is what I used and covered, and this is what it turns out to look like, which it gives it a whole different. I mean, this is really flimsy. This has a little bit more structure, like a piece of paper, so it's just pretty cool. I saved some of the actual tissue papers. I have some original here so we can compare the two, but I saved these to peel off the plastic on camera. You need to be real careful because you can rip them to get them all the way off there. You just start at the corner. See how it's starting to rip there? If it starts to do that, kind of work it around the other way, around your piece of stuff, and just kind of gently lift up on your stuff. Oops, they stuck together. Okay, we'll just try to get them both off there then, and then we can cut them apart. Well, now you know if you want to combine two different napkins, you put them up side by side, and these two are combined. I mean, I can cut right down through there and cut this off, but they're pretty much combined. The one that had the metallic, you can see on one side, it's got just the white flowers. If you wanted something different, you could use either side and background it with a tag. The metallic is kind of on the surface. It still has a little bit of a shiny appearance, but even put the flat Mod Podge on it, that's what it comes out to be. Again, you get what looks like saran wrap edges, and you can just cut that off, and I'll probably just cut that in half if that happens. I was trying to conserve on plastic, so I put them really close together. This is that oil paper. I got a piece of it, so let me get it off here and I'll show you. Oh, difference. This is the Mod Podge napkin. Gives a little sturdiness. Here is the original napkin. See how the difference in papers? It still wads up good. It just has it's not quite as flimsy, and it gets a little bit more structure. Okay, oil paper. We're gonna do it next here. Just a couple. You just peel it off like I am here. Once you get it started, it's usually easy to do. That one ripped on me again, because I'm trying to get this off quickly so you can see it. But anyway, it gives this oil paper just a little bit different texture. Here is I don't know if you can tell on camera, but here's the original. Very, very flimsy. This gives us just a little bit more structure. Still has a shiny appearance because that's what the original. Kind of took down a little bit on the shininess, but not a whole lot. So if you don't like shiny, probably wouldn't be a good thing to use this oil paper in anything because it's shiny, even the original. This is the original in this hand, and this is the one I peeled off in this hand. All right. The last thing I want to show you here is the brown pattern paper. But I had a piece of it laying here. I don't know if I did this on camera. I may have gone ahead and did this off camera, but I wanted to show you how they turn out. Be real careful you don't rip it. It gives your pattern paper a very translucent look. See if I have another piece of it somewhere here on the table. So you can see the, anyway, see how translucent it becomes when you use that like that? And, yeah, I'm not finding the other little piece I had laying here, but here it is. In the pile to the side. The pile that's going to fall on the floor if I don't catch it real quick. Because that's just, it is here. Here's the original piece of pattern paper, and here is the one that we covered with Mod Podge. So it gives it a whole new texture feeling. You could use this like if you want just a little piece of it when you're making a tag behind something. And then lastly, this is that collage that I covered in Mod Podge. It kind of gives it a little bit of a coating, so now I can cut this into tags and not worry about those little edges coming up and peeling up on me, which sometimes happens when you collage. Here is this piece. This is the side I covered. It's sealed. The other side I haven't yet covered, but it did have a lot of glue on it, so it has, you know, more of a rough side. And see how I'm getting something peeling up there? When I cover it, that'll put that down. And this piece, how this was peeling up, it's no longer peeling up anymore. It seals it real good. This will make a nice cover for a small journal. Put it under a book, straighten it out, cut the side straighter and things, and it will make a nice cover for a small journal. So that's it for today, guys. Please like, subscribe, share. Hope you find fun things to make with your Mod Podge or even homemade Mod Podge. This is a piece that came off that stuck to my fingernails. Just a little piece of plastic-like substance is what you end up with. Okay, you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. This is Miriam from Messy Paper Wheels. See you later.